The time has come where two business besties, that's us, come together to share all of the behind the scenes laughter, tears, trial and tribulations of exiting our 9-to-5s and building out a multi-six-figure coaching and learning company for women entrepreneurs. Imagine this. You're sitting around a cozy living room, the hot beverages are poured, and you and your besties are talking about the real, honest moves you're making to grow a sustainable business and how you're doing whatever it is that you love all day. That is this podcast episode.
Hi everyone, Kaila here, your Virgo systems queen and manifesting generator to the core. I love creating effective, profit-driven business systems that take the guesswork out of growth and scaling. My mission is to support women in building your wealth.
And I'm Nicole. If you've been around for a minute, you probably know that I'm the host of our TGIM segment on the podcast, which is your weekly dose of mindset and manifesting inspo. I'm a human design generator, an Aries sun, and the woman with about 1,000 ideas in my head a day. I used to be a high school teacher and yoga instructor, but back in 2016, when I first heard about the world of professional coaching, I knew I had found my calling. Exiting my teaching job was both terrifying and thrilling, and it wasn't until I met Kaila and we built this company did I truly feel like my ideas could be brought to life in a successful, profitable business.
Our intention on this podcast is to take you backstage of what it's been like building this company, from hiring and firing, the systems and processes that are required, the deep mindset work that we're committed to, and to show you how it can all be done. Because we don't believe in gatekeeping around here. And of course, we want to bring all of our humanness to the show to let you know that we're not any different than you.
So sticking true to our motto, we want to show you how you can all make a lot of money, have a lot of fun, and do a lot of good in this world. Come hang out with your business besties every Thursday. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Biz Besties. Kaila and I are here today, and we are going to be sharing with you one of our favorite hacks to expand any area of your life that you're looking to find more clarity in, new ideas, and really just have this like anything is possible attitude towards.
Yeah.
Before we get into like how or why this works, we want to share an example of what happened to us when we really started to apply this. So when was this happening, Kaila? Like back in June?
Yeah, it was last year in June.
Okay. Last year in June, Kaila and I made a commitment to ourselves, like internally, within My Line Purpose, that we really wanted to expand our US audience, expand into the US market. And the reason being is we are a global company and we have some women from the States and we really love the women that we get to connect with. And we're like, there's a lot more of you. So let's figure out who they are and how we can work with them. So we decided that we were going to use the strategy that's called 50 ways. So basically, we're going to talk more about what you do in 50 ways, but we did 50 ways of how to expand into the US market. And this is so crazy how manifestation and our reticular activating system and our magnetism and all this works. We do this exercise, I believe, on like a Tuesday.
You did
and on
it.
Wednesday,
At
I
home.
did it.
You did it at your house. I was at my house.
Okay. I did it at home.
You're like, I'm going to do this. I said, okay.
It's a Tuesday. I'm going to work on this. I got in the zone. We're going to tell you what it means to get into the zone. And I did it.
You called me. You read it out.
Oh yeah. I read the 50 ways to Kaila. We were really excited about it. And we were like, okay, we'll action this.
I'm like, I couldn't have done that better. That's amazing.
Next week or something, we'll start to action it.
Yeah.
Now, the next day, a random woman who my husband introduced me to wanted to go for coffee at a coffee shop that I've never been to in Victoria. So I say yes. I go to meet her for coffee. We go to the back of this coffee shop. It's quite big. We have our hour connection. We drink our coffee. We eat our treats. She's got to go. She's got to go pick up her kid. And I wasn't ready to leave yet. So I get out my laptop and I want to move chairs. I want to sit in the chair she's in because it had more sun or something. So I get up. She's gone now. I get up. And as I get up to shift chairs, a woman at the table behind us said, Nicole? And I can't make this shit up.
No, she can't.
I couldn't remember her name at the beginning because Kaila and I had been introduced to her about 2 weeks prior or a month prior or something on Zoom through one of our clients. I know this is all starting to sound very convoluted. So this woman who I barely know is at the table behind me. She hears my voice. She said, I thought that was your voice. How are you? How have you been since you and Kaila and I have chatted? And I was like, oh, good. We get chatting. Turns out she is a US resident who is in Canada temporarily working to become a Canadian resident or Canadian, live here and work here. And she said, yeah, what I'm really working on right now is I want to bridge the Canadian women I'm meeting with the American women I know. And she's in the online business coaching space. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. I can't even make this up. But yesterday, I wrote down 50 ways that our business could expand into the US market. And now here I am chatting to you by chance, and you're telling me that you want to connect Canadian and American business owners. And she was like, yes. And I thought, wow, manifesting and magnetism and our reticular activating system is so wild. So I just want to share that it works. It absolutely works. So let's talk about 50
That
ways,
was just the beginning. That was just the tip of the iceberg. And then so many people we came into contact with were US business owners that wanted to be business owners. We put together a whole US based speaker series.
Oh, yeah,
And I
we
don't
grew
think
our
we
email
actually
list
read
by
that
like
list again.
Oh yeah, and we grew our email list overnight by 1,000 new subscribers, the majority of them like 80-90% being US citizens.
Yeah, it was like 1,500. It was, yeah.
So good. We're going to tell everybody how to do it and what you can apply it to.
Okay.
So our 50 ways hack, we suggest that you do a couple of things. First of all, you choose an area that you want more ideas in. So for us, we want to know what would be more ways that we could move into the US market. Some ways that people might use 50 ways, a lot of the time it's, okay, how can I make more money?
Yeah. How can you improve your launch?
Yeah. How could you improve
Or
your
how
launch?
could you launch better? Yeah.
How could you grow your audience?
Yeah. How could you leave your 9 to 5? What are ideas that could get you out of your 9 to 5 and replace your income?
Yeah, absolutely. What are different podcast ideas?
Yeah. What different business could you build? If you just want to choose one, you're going to come up with 50 ideas, and then you can just go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to move cities, if you want to find your ideal partner, whatever it is, if you want to tone your
You could do it for
herbs,
anything. 50 ways to
anything.
drink more water every day. 50 ways to stay committed to 75 hard.
So that's the first thing. You have to know what you want to expand on, come up with 50 ways. The second thing is we really need you to know that you don't have to execute on all 50 ways.
No.
What is going to happen is as you start to get into some new ideas, you might get to 15, 20 and think, oh, I want to give up. I can't possibly think of doubling this, if not even adding more.
That's all I have in my head.
Yeah, if that's what you're thinking and you want to walk away, this is pretty common for people. They're like, I really could not get any more than 20 ideas. You have to stick to it. You have to tell yourself, I'm not getting up and doing anything else until 50 things are on this paper. And you allow your mind to explore. It's like the concept of throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Allow your mind to explore what would happen if, and you add in some things that maybe you would never do. Say if we're talking about making more money, we did this activity once with somebody and they said, I could get paid to go on dates. And we were like, that is an idea. She said, I would never do that. But putting that down on paper allowed her mind to open up to other ways that she could get paid to make money.
Yeah. Like, for example, let's say you want to get more people into your program and you're in the middle of a launch and you're feeling like, okay, I've got to really shake this up. I still have 5 days left and I feel like I'm at the end of my rope with what's already planned and it's not over till it's over and I'm going to enroll 10 people. You do your 50 ways. On your 50 ways list could be like knock on every door in my neighborhood and invite them. Yeah. What is the likelihood you're actually going to go door knocking? Like pretty low, but it is a way. So write that down.
Yeah, exactly. So what is really important here is that when you're starting to write out your 50 ways, you want to set up your environment so that it is conducive for you to be able to get these ideas. So what we encourage is being in a space that, expands your creativity. So not sitting at like a cluttered desk or anything like that. Maybe you light a candle, get in your cozy chair. You do it when you have time and space. So, if your family's all running around, maybe that's going to be a bit distracting. Setting up the environment to be optimal for your mindset to be able to get into that creative zone. And we really encourage that you put your phone and all your devices on do not disturb, and you could put on binaural beats. And the reason that binaural beats is helpful in this situation in particular is because we are trying to get out of the analytical mind. And so when we can use binaural beats, we can allow our mind to go from beta thinking, so where we're actively online thinking, into that like alpha or delta or theta or gamma or whatever, one of those like slower brainwave states where we can tap more into creativity and into like psychic abilities and dream state and a meditative state. Because when we're in those states, our consciousness can connect with higher consciousness. And this is where we get ideas that we're like, I don't even know where that idea came from.
Yeah. I have to say the thing about having some quiet space is really important, especially for verbal processors. If you think stuff and you like to say it out loud before you, I don't know, whatever, if that's how you process things. So I recently was doing 50 ways for something, and then I got interrupted in my 50 ways to go help with my kids. So I went upstairs to help with my kids, and I was still doing my 50 ways. Like my brain was doing it anyway, and they were playing, and it was okay. I was just like putting them down on my phone, texting them out on my notes app on my phone. And then I started talking to my husband about this one that I got really excited about. And then he was like, not there, not excited about it, was like, oh, why are we even talking about this right now? And I had already been doing it for a little bit. So I was really hyped about it. And he was just like, this, I don't get how this relates to anything. What do you mean that's an option? How are you even going to do that? And that completely pulled me out of the rhythm of ideas and possibility and excitement and all the things that were happening in my 50 ways of like exercise.
Vortex.
Yeah. And vortex. Exactly. So we do recommend doing it in a space where you are just with your notes, with the binaural beats on, with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, a glass of water, whatever it is, just in your own zone. So that like you don't have to do them all. And you do need space where the doubt is not and justification is not something that you're working towards.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think time is another important piece here where it's you started and then you went upstairs with your kids. If
I should have stopped, but my creative flow is still going. So I was like, oh, I can still do this. But
right.
Then,
I think committing mentally that you're going to give this exercise at least 30 minutes. So for those of you listening, if you're like, oh yeah, like how long could it possibly take to bang out 50 ideas? At least give yourself 30 minutes and commit to, I will not get up and walk away from this activity. I'm not going to check my phone. I'm not going to scroll.
Yeah, put your phone on do not disturb.
And make this commitment to yourself and be mind blown at what comes up for you. When we say this whole idea of getting into the brainwave state and how that's going to support you like in this deeper thinking so that your analytical mind can turn off. We also, what we're doing here in terms of a subconscious programming or like a neuroscience perspective here is we're also tapping into our RAS, our reticular activating system. And our reticular activating system is a web or a net that captures things that we tell it to capture. And so, the reason, yes, I ran into this woman and that is her bridge of Canadian and American women, but I may have never thought to bring up to her that this is what we're actively working on, but is in my RAS. My RAS is like,